And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Search Protector podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and I still don't have food poisoning because Operation Chicken Cutlet has been delayed until that bad boy defrosts, and I think we're at that point today.
Well, you'll have a full whole weekend to get it through your system before our Tuesday drop.
Just sit in the toilet and make intro noises. Here it comes again.
Or you just stay on that toilet and we'll podcast away like Cartman in the last South Park episode.
Yeah. I actually, what's it called? I do have a bike ride, but I found out it's not on Saturday, it's on Sunday.
Ooh.
So I'll be able to attend the shindig. And
nice.
Hopefully, I don't know. When's preseason and Bills are playing? I don't know. I'll watch them illegally off one of those Russian streaming sites anyway. So
yeah, they already bought our president. The least they could do is give us some more illegal streams.
Like, can we at least get the UFC fight at the White House next year, like, free? It's like, we're paying freaking $29 billion in tariffs last month. Like, at least make a UFC fight, like, not pay-per-view.
Like, we got to get rid of all this Russian influence. Like, yeah, we've been saying this for years. Like, and they're hackers. Like, easy, buddy.
You got to remove all those pop-up ads on those Russian websites. That's what you got to focus on, big guy.
You have to have 4 different streaming services to watch the NFL right now. Just let those hackers live their life.
Did you see what's it called? Trump was talking about his tariffs again.
No.
He's like,
what do you say now?
He's like, last month, they found $29 billion. And they're like, sir, we don't know where it came from. And I was like, check the tariff shelf. And they're like, oh my God, sir, how'd you know it was here? Like, we're bringing in billions, trillions of dollars. Like, yeah, mother effer, that's my money you're taking.
Yeah, that's that big government overreach that conservatives have universally loved forever.
I do like how the fact that the Second Amendment crowd has shut their mouth real quick. Like, yeah, man, I need all these ARs to protect the world from tyrants. Be like, I don't know, man. Having cops in American cities and having U.S. troops deployed on U.S. civilians, it's a complicated geopolitical issue that I need to study a little bit more in depth. Like, really?
Turns out this whole time I actually love tyranny. It's people that aren't white that scare me to death.
That tree of liberty looks pretty nourished. I think we're good on the blood.
Yeah, it's always fun when you think one thing and then you get to a root cause and you're like, it's the brown people. That's the real reason.
We're not racist, but it's not a deal breaker.
Also, tariffs are just another tax for us, and we had a whole tea party about this that kicked this bad boy off into the American experiment.
Yeah, we started a revolution over this.
We should go back to kings.
I mean, we're trying to get there now. I mean, I guess if it's domestic kingdom, like, it's different. Like, maybe the problem was the fact that our last king was over an ocean. We want something farm to table.
They don't farm a whole lot in Florida anymore.
No. I saw another article. It's this guy. He's like, yeah, man, it's they deported all my workers, so I opened up the jobs for the whites, and they can't do it. Like most of them are quitting. A bunch of them just want to go home after lunchtime. Like, buddy, you didn't need that experiment for me to tell you that the fat whites off the couch in Arkansas aren't going to work as hard as a Peruvian fella.
Yeah, I don't know where they get this superiority idea in their head. They're like, no, they'll work these for little pay and never complain once. Like, buddy, you all wouldn't shut up for years when Colin Kaepernick decided to kneel down for an anthem. Like, you think actual labor is going to be where they're like, no, we're fine with this? Not a chance. No one complains like the whites.
I've always liked seeing those pictures. It's this one fat, overweight dude at the beach, and he's got the big old swastika SS lightning bolts on him. I'm like, that's the master race? I'm like, it's not looking good for the next couple of generations.
Where all the pictures of like the Alabama militia on the back of their pickup truck when it's like leaning down where it looks like the front wheels are about to come up. like yeah, this is what God chose, I guess.
Here comes Meal Team 6. Get the F out of here.
Yes, correct.
I feel like that's a pretty good transition over to a boy over in the Tesla ticker. And he's
Speaking
got
of
some bad
SS
news.
tattoos.
Yeah. Speaking of the SS trucks. So it was 3:40 when we left you guys on Tuesday. It bounced up and then it bounced down at 3:30. And there's a couple of things that are happening. First of all, we are getting rid of the EV tax credit, the one for $7,500. They're going to go ahead and end that at the end of a month. And the reasoning behind that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. You want to incentivize people to buy these electric cars. It's a growing industry, but the entire world is moving towards it. Like China even has a bunch of programs for them. Like a lot of the European Union has actually come out and started banning Chinese product because if they start allowing the market saturate, they will take over market and nobody else will be able to make these batteries. Like this is where everything is going. It's going towards this, and we're like, nah, we're cool with coal.
So thought about this, about the Tesla stock going up and your burger analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is more like when a furniture store is closing and having a liquidation sale, but it closes and has their liquidation sale for years and years and years. It's that buy now type of like, well, I have to act now. They're closing.
So essentially, Motley Crue, this is the last tour we're doing tickets. It would be a better analogy.
Correct. I have to spend $200 on this ticket because I'll never see them again until next year.
Like, they legit signed what was it? Kiss. Kiss was notorious for as, like, last tour on Earth. And, like, they're literally advertising next summer's tour. Like, yeah, we also have a yacht cruise coming. Like, what the F are you doing? Gene Simmons like, I love money. You know this. Like, fair enough.
Yeah. Make sure you come see us in 2026 for last tour, ... again.
Yeah, last tour of 2025. Like, well, at least he's not lying. But it's, again, going back to this, the fact that we're trying to get rid of the EV tax credit for this zero emission vehicle makes no sense to me. And when I actually say zero emissions, it's to build these things, there is a build cost. So there's something that a lot of people don't consider. Like, if you're almighty hoity-toity because you drive a Tesla, understand that some part of this planet was strip mined to get lithium batteries. Like, to build these things is a much bigger cost, but once it's all done, it's doing better than an ICE vehicle. And this is a term that I learned. It's not just a bunch of racist white guys rolling up to your local bodega. That's called an internal combustion vehicle. So ICE.
It's kind of interesting where if you think about nothing can be made without some sort of, impact.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how much can you get out of it?
Yeah, it's for a long time when I was taking some architecture courses, like I started looking at different ways to build buildings. And you look at it, you're like, oh man, we're building all these buildings with this wood, these 2x4s, like, and we're essentially strip mining forests. Like, we should do concrete. And holy God, is concrete bad for the environment? But, like, all of this wood stuff, what they do is, like, they switched it up. They do fast-growing wood. For every, like, tree that they pull down, they actually plant another one. So it's extremely sustainable. Like, it sucks a bunch of stuff out of the earth. But again, oh my God, is concrete horrible for the planet. But if properly maintained, like, you have an initial cost, and then it lasts. Like, it helps out in the long run as long as you get some use out of it.
Yeah, what if instead of using these 2x4s made from our trees, we just stack a bunch of these styrofoam cups together?
Now, I mean, we can go down a rabbit hole and we can get into something called earth ships. It's what these guys used to do is you used to take old tires because old tires essentially don't recycle very well, even though your dealer will charge you an extra recycling fee. They're going to like Burma, dude, where they're just floating on the side. But what they'll end up doing is they'll take these tires, and since it takes such a long time for them to break down, they'll fill them with dirt, and they'll keep stacking them and make walls into them. And dirt's a very good, like, it has a very nice R value to it, especially with these tires. And then they'll put stucco on it. Like, there's different, like, ways of construction, but obviously we're not doing earth ships. We're doing concrete or we're doing 2x4s. So Let's
Well, I
get
mean, we're big sticklers for sizing, and if I have to build a whole wall and I got to wait for some 215 7515 radials so they match the rest of our wall, it's going to take you longer.
like, ew. I only use Pirelli bricks in my home.
Yeah. This is a Michelin home, thank you.
So one of the things again, we're going to take a little tangent here for a quick sec, but one of the things I found out is the build cost and some of the things that we use. Like a lot of people, some people, we call them nerds, will read books. And some of these nerds are also eco-friendly nerds. And people have this weird conception that, hey, books are so bad for the environment, yada, yada. Cost of printing a book is really not that high. Cost of making an ebook reader is actually slightly higher. So do you have any idea, if you bought an ebook reader, how many books you'd have to read before it breaks even?
I'm not a big reader, so no.
Book? So essentially, you would have to read about 36 books before it breaks even. That's just from the fact that you have a battery in there. You have a screen, you got to source it all together, you got to ship it in from China. And this number is actually a whole lot lower when I first remember learning about it. Again, technology improves over time. That's why you invest in technology. We don't have those little floppy disks on our computers anymore. We have little USB drives. But again, what about a reusable bag? What about a cotton reusable bag? You're like, you know what? F this single-use plastic. Let me get that cotton bag. How many times you go into the store with it before you break even?
I'm assuming 1.
131 times, correct. Yes. So that exact number is you're on point. A polypropylene bag, which is a different type, it's a heavier plastic. You got to use that one about 8 times, so that's not nearly as bad. But again, the whole stressing thing is the build cost. Nothing comes into this world without having an impact on it, and you just got to understand how long you plan on keeping it in order for it to be worthwhile.
Well, I'm still kind of flabbergasted that a cotton bag takes that much damn time till it's like too even.
Yeah,
no, I was 130 off.
Yeah, I mean, like if you get one of those fancy cotton bags, it takes a long time. Like plastic, the reason we use plastic and everything, like from your Chinese place and everybody and their mother using like plastic containers, is because it's so easy to make it, but it also doesn't break down, which is a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, you'll be able to get your little blueberries from the store, but after that, that turtle's doing bumps with that same plastic in the middle of an ocean because that stuff ain't degrading. So it kind of sucks.
Well, do we have the science to know if it's making their shells stronger?
They just keep going after it. They just keep snorting everything in sight. So if we just make them addicted to plastic, maybe they'll just start eating the plastic. We just got to get some plastic addicted turtles.
See, now you're thinking outside the box.
I'm going to start releasing my own stock and just migrate that one around. But the second thing that Elon and essentially the entire EV industry is taking a hit on is the fact that not even the end of a month, but like right now we're making America healthy again with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration officially stopping issuing compliance letters to automakers for violating fuel economy standards. So this eliminates the market for credits under the corporate average fuel economy CAFE standard. So you know what carbon credits are?
I do.
All right. You want to explain it to the peoples?
So basically, that devil Muslim Obama started making us care about the earth we're all living on. So he basically told all the automakers, because EV is the next step, you guys are going to be afforded X amount of pollution credits, essentially. They're like, you cannot go over this, which is, in the way you get that number down is by bringing in more fuel efficient vehicles. You can still have your big V12 guzzlers, but as long as you bring in an EV or a smaller, like this 4-cylinder car, you kind of get your pollution credits down. Now, do you know who got uber rich off this?
Ooh, do tell.
Our boy Uncle Elon.
Ooh.
So once he got Tesla up and moving, which this is the craziest thing in the world for me, he got Tesla up and moving, and because they have zero emissions, he's got all these same credits as everybody else does. So what does the guy trying to save the earth through EV do? He sells automakers his pollution credits.
Mm-hmm.
And he can essentially set a market, and it's totally legal for some reason.
Yeah, it's exactly correct. The EV credits, it's kind of a government trying to influence. You either get better in your production process by improving your plant production, making better vehicles, I mean, you have to pay less fines, or you keep your production the same and you start buying these auto credits. Elon, with a whole Tesla thing, when he sells these EV, like these clean energy credits to somebody who's pumping out Hummers, like he's able to invest that money back in a Tesla and make more energy efficient cars. His cars technically then become more efficient with better technology. And the whole goal is to then that company will naturally have more of a market share. You're using government influence to slowly drive a market in a different direction. It's done in many things like a homeowner tax credit, stuff like that. But it kind of lets the market decide, and it helps everybody out because remember the Beijing Olympics and how it looked like 2 weeks before we went there? Like, you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you. Like, that's what we're going back to here with this stupid, no more credits for, like, I don't know, maybe have a catalytic converter in your car. Like, F that. That's government intrusion.
Yeah, and it's not just EV. A lot of automakers started years ago. Like Mercedes famously went and bought a smart car franchise because it was an itty-bitty little 3-cylinder engine, which much less carbon footprint involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of offsets the big V12 monsters. And a lot of other automakers started trying to find new ways to like supercharge 4-cylinder engines instead, so you can get the same sort of output. So it also did push what you could do to an engine.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing. Like, people are like, oh yeah, muscle cars from the 60s. Like, cool. Those things make double digits in horses. Like, nowadays, you have a Hellcat, and a Hellcat's going to make 10 times the horsepower of a car back then, and it's also going to be more energy efficient as far as, like, miles per gallon. Like, this helps everybody. It's a rising tide that lifts all ships, and I don't know why we're getting rid of it.
I'm kind of interested how Elon's planning on or what's going to happen with Tesla stock, because this is a huge contributor to their bottom line.
Well, I just told you, it dropped 1.5%, okay?
For now. I mean, when it's coming.
Well, some analyst is going to be like, well, you know what, I still feel like we should buy this stuff. And, you know, it'll go right back up. No rhyme or reason.
I have a feeling when you take out a giant leg of your, like where all your money's coming from, eventually they can't just get away with like, we should keep valuing this higher. But again, we've also discussed, I have zero idea how any of this works.
Yeah, it's the listeners can't see it, but I get to see that little gleam in your eye. It's that childish glow. It's before, like, you tell a child that Santa doesn't exist. Like, it's when someone doesn't know how the world works and how it repeatedly beats you. Like, that's that glimmer in your eye. Like, oh boy, the stock market's going to adjust and it's going to do the right thing. Like, F it will, buddy.
My boss is going to give me that promotion for working hard, and that hot chick is definitely going to call me.
Yeah. Today a pizza party, tomorrow $1.25 extra an hour. Oh boy, here comes the revolution of the pores.
Forever an optimist.
So, well, let's make me an optimist too, and switch it on over to Ukraine real quick. And depending what time you listen to this, the Gazprom oil machines may or may not be already in Alaska, because fearless leader and Putin, his BFF, are currently meeting down there, and that should have started. And honestly, did you see any of the Alaskans down there, any of the footage of them in the streets?
I'm assuming they're all holding like welcome signs.
No, dude. They are exactly how the Texans were before they somehow started self-castrating. Like, these dudes are out there in the streets like, F you, Vlad. Like, arrest this guy. Like, Trump as a panel, like, there's Ukrainian flags, but I don't even see, like, the saturation in a Ukraine Victory Day parade. Like, they came out in force. So, I mean, that made me happy, and if it's just people expressing their views could actually solve things, we would have ended a lot of bad things in the world, but I don't know. Right now, it's two guys talking about a third country, and that third country's not represented, so who knows what happens.
Well, I mean, the fastest way to get to a clear-cut answer on what to do about a war is to not invite one of them in, and just let two war criminals dig it out together.
Well, I mean, in Trump's defense, he did have a Zoom call with European leaders and Zelensky earlier in the week, and now he's having an in-person BFF meeting in a former part of the Soviet Union, and they're hanging out together. And honestly, I don't know which Trump we're going to get. We get the Trump that's first comes, like, after he had that meeting, he came out of that meeting, he's like, oh, we're slamming down sanctions. I know how to read people. Like, I'm going to have this meeting with Putin, and I'll know in the first 2 minutes if he doesn't want to deal, then down comes the hammer. And then a couple of minutes pass, and he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna feel him out on this one and see what happens. And honestly, if he ends this meeting, says like, I went ahead and had Russia invest $500 billion into our minerals here in Alaska, and 2 weeks later we find out that there's 7 casinos being built in St. Petersburg, they are 1,000,000% gonna say like completely unrelated.
I saw a story about Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Now we bought it from the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Where I did not fact check this at all, but this guy was saying we buy Alaska from Russia for $7 million, but it was really sort of like a ruse where during the Civil War, Russia actually blocked off some sort of passageway for it, and this $7 million was the payoff for it. They just had to give up something, so they gave up completely useless Alaska.
Wait, whose Civil War?
Ours.
Dude, we weren't even over towards like California during our Civil War, were we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That was just on the east and like west.
No, I thought Great Expansion was before that. I don't know. Guy told a story. I was like, I'm gonna run with this.
You guys are fact checking?
Yeah. Me and JD got a couple things to tell you about that.
Whoa. I was told we make our own facts.
I don't know, during some war. We don't have a producer we can ask to fact check this live, but if you decide to advertise with us, maybe we can get there.
Yeah.
They can stop me before I open my mouth.
And why doesn't Alaska airdrop a couple shekels in our general direction? But
to be fair, I was also listening to a fantasy podcast, so I may have missed some crucial points in there.
I hope you missed them from a fantasy podcast, too. Like, first overall pick, Alaska, like, put it on the board.
Done and done.
No, what's it called? It's one of the things I looked into this a little bit myself, and it was actually $7.2 million. I didn't read anything about the whole giving up a part of it, but from what I understood, one of the guys in the articles was talking about how he was in a Russian school, and down there, and I personally don't remember this from Soviet upbringing. I don't think we got to that chapter before I rolled out. But he said essentially what they were taught is that Alaska was actually leased to the United States. And the United States broke that lease and started screwing Russia over. And that's another reason why they're such bad guys. And that's one of the reasons they kind of all are starting to think like and kind of want Alaska back. And you'll actually know that the whole thing with Alaska started in the first Crimean War, when Russia was going to war with Turkey. So there's a lot of Crimea involved in this one. And if you're
Civil War was 1861 to 1865.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was the gold rush?
Sale to Russia was the sale to the U.S. was in 1867.
All right, fair enough. When
So
was the
maybe
gold
I was
rush?
wrong.
Gold rush in America. 1849. All right, so we're basically just there. Oh, yeah, because, okay, never mind. Because they were down there, they were bumping into Russian settlers as well when they were doing pelts and everything else like that. And back then, the capital of Russia was in St. Petersburg, and they didn't exactly have the logistics to move the pelts and everything else, so they kind of unloaded that property. But, again, as I'm saying, a lot of the people wanted back in Russia, and if you're wondering how the other side is entering this negotiation, just understand that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrived today and for the talks, and he's wearing a sweater that had CCCP on it, which stands for USSR. So if you're making that connections, he's showing up and he's either doing a hell of a troll job or he's coming up wanting Alaska back.
Now, you know who else once rocked a CCCP shirt? JD Vance on a Halloween. So, I don't know.
Honestly, I've heard of worse Halloween costumes, and there's been more than one blackface that's been brought up, so a CCCP thing, not that bad.
If I'm not mistaken, and we'll ask our fictitious producer to pull this up right now. It was a picture of JD Vance wearing the Russian sickle and the CCCP shirt, surrounded by a bunch of people his age, all wearing NWO shirts, which I found hilarious because there was 78 members of that group, and JD was not invited to join.
You sure he wasn't a fundraiser getting donations for his next campaign?
It is sending it to you now.
Fair enough. I'll take a look at that one. But just to wrap up this whole thing on Ukraine, just a heads up. On our side, we have a master negotiator who's negotiated multiple Chapter 11s for casinos that he's bankrupted. And did you see him when he got off the plane?
No.
Dude, our buddy can't pass his field sobriety test. Homie was bobbing and weaving left and right, can't even walk in a straight line. And on the other side is a guy wearing referencing when Alaska was there. So this negotiation, we are so screwed. I mean, on the bright side, you'll be able to stay at a Trump Taj Mahal, Moscow next couple of years, but we're not going to be able to have any oil in Alaska.
Well, the one thing I do think's cool is when he finally makes it a thing where you can sell a state to another country.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to prove me right with my whole theory of what I would do as president and selling Florida to China to absolutely wipe out our debt.
Well, I do like how you got into that one because selling parts of America is what our next segment is on. And you'll see this one. We're going to start this bad boy off with something called the weave. And it's when some people call it incoherently rambling all over the place, while our fearless leader says it's a weave, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. And for that, let's start off with a little Occupy Washington, the federal edition. We're not talking about any kind of homeless people. Well, actually, you know what? We are. Because on Monday, our great peacemaker, Donald the Jury's Out Trump, came out and said a D.C. is looking like the set of the next Snake Plissken movie. And that's a reference to you. I figured you'll enjoy that one.
Oh, yeah. Love Kurt Russell.
Escape from District of Columbia.
Yeah.
I mean,
would that make the best? That would make the best trilogy.
What's the one studio who made that whole thing about the kid diddling, and then it did another one about it's like a whole, like it's the Christian studio. It did the one
who did the 40 Acres and a Mule one?
No, it's there's D'Souza, the softball, whatever his name is. This one was. It's certain that it's not Searchlight. It's actually a legitimate one. They made the movie about like the agent. He like found this underground pedo ring and he's out there taking it apart. And it was like all the Christian people kept going to it and just complaining that it wasn't being shown anywhere. Not because like only 6 people are showing up at it, but because it was being canceled.
Wasn't that the D'Souza one?
Hold on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh God,
Strain here.
Sound of Freedom.
What's that?
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah. So they did that one, and they also did a couple more like things. And just a heads up, I got 57 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I believe is way too high. Angel Studios. Yep. Angel Studios starts making these, and it's Donald Trump, just fit as hell, just trying to escape from a bunch of like evil Mexicans and black people smoking their evil marijuana. He's like, I don't want to get addicted to your drugs. He's like, I have an empire to run. He's like, no, Donald, have some marijuana. He's like, no, I love my children and wife.
It's like watching Birth of a Nation. They're like, why don't you try working for a living? Like, I just can't stop raping. Like,
it's this rap music that's making me do it.
Give me your watermelon. I'm going to murder your whole family. Like
just leading real hard stereotypes.
Have you ever watched Birth of a Nation? It is wild.
It's all those movies again from 20 years ago. It's hardwired in the system.
Birth of a Nation's black and white, brother. That thing's like 1930.
What's the one movie
when racism was real?
What's the one Western you're a big fan of that has some soft R's in it?
Django?
No, that's current times. It's who's one Western movie or something? I forget.
You talking about Blazing Saddles?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. It's still an incredible movie.
Had a couple moments in it.
It's still fantastic. Mel Brooks is a genius.
On most days. But anyways, our boy's out there. He's screaming about how crime is so horrible down there. And honestly, like, crime rates are going to be higher when you pack that many people in a density in an area. But the violent crime rates have been going down. From 2023 to 2024, they dropped 35%. That's over a third. And then when you compare this year to last year, it's down another 26%. In January, the Department of Justice, this administration's Department of Justice, actually released a memo that said that crime was at a 30-year low. And yet, just a couple months later, he's like, crime is horrible. I need to deploy troops.
I did see a couple congressmen come out and give their opinion on this. Mm-hmm. They're like, you have no idea what it's like to work here. There's some times where I have to sleep in my office. You can't even go out at night here. It's terrible. They're like, buddy, maybe it's you. Because immediately, as soon as you say that, they have a live view side by side of you where it's just the whitest people on earth enjoying their $70 avocado toasts. We live close enough. There are bad pockets, yeah, but you're going to get that in any city that makes money.
You can get mugged at any city on the planet. I don't care where you are. You can get jacked up in the Vatican.
I don't care what Jason Aldean told you in his song.
Yeah.
By the way, Macon, Georgia is an enormous city. It's not a small town. And you know what? If you're wearing bedazzled jeans pretending to be an alpha country star, you deserve every ass kicking you're about to take.
You walk out there in those skinny jeans with a bedazzled kid and a MAGA hat, like, you're going to get punched. I'm sorry. Like, it's not crime. It's you.
And shame on you, conservatives, not just for your terrible views on everything, but to look at a guy wearing bedazzled jeans and go like, that's it. That's the dream. That's what I'm going to aspire to do.
Like, at 350 dualies and bedazzled jeans, baby. That's how an alpha man looks like.
There was actually a video just released yesterday, day before, about the Jason Aldean concert let out. I think it was Georgia, but I can't. It's one of those states you never want to go to. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of chicks started attacking this guy, and he destroys these broads. Just some massive haymakers.
Well, yeah,
and I go to comments of it, and it's just a million. Tried that in a small town.
Jesus.
I love it. Felt great.
Well, Let's move right along here. So I'm trying to find out why he's trying to institute it, because clearly it's not because there's a crime issue. So there's a few reasons that are pretty much out there that actually make a little bit of sense to me. And one of the reasons is the man has a very small ego. And as far as votes in D.C., they were very close to what the actual votes in Russia are for Putin, because Harris got over 90% in the district, and Trump got only 6.5. And honestly, I want to meet those 6.5. What kind of an idiot voted for that? But it is what it is. The fact that it's so different, and a man with a very fragile ego could be very easily affected by that.
I do not want to meet those 6.5% of people.
Really? Why not?
I'm over it.
That is true.
I was at the beach a couple weeks ago, and a very nice old lady smiled and, said hi, passed her walking her dog, and I look up, and she's wearing one of those Trump was right about everything hats. And I was like, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if some car just slammed you at 80 miles an hour. I would not bat an eye.
Are we doing this wrong? Do we need to start, what's it called? Just buy a bunch of insulin syringes, and anytime you see somebody with a MAGA hat, be like, hey, I got that pure ivermectin. And just sell them insulin and just see where that goes. We're not profiting off this. I've seen some of these Trump rallies, and there'd be a brother out there, and he looks like he does not care anything about Trump, but he's out there hawking $25 Joe Biden a prison t-shirts, and he's making a killing. And we are missing out on a lot of money.
That's true capitalism.
Yeah. So
leave your morals at the door.
Something to consider when you go down to your little beach trip next time around. Just hawk a couple t-shirts. I'll buy them off Temu. We'll swap out the labels to say USA on them. We'll get the labels made that say USA in China. One-stop shop.
Made in new Russian area formerly known as Alaska.
Why doesn't China have an actual province called USA?
It would be ingenious.
You do USA, but you only put 2 periods in there, and we're too stupid to notice one dot's missing. Yup, see, American made, baby. Or make a province called American made, proudly American made. It'll be right next to Wuhan.
Because that would probably cost more, and if you're already hawking made in China swag at your White House, why would you even need to take it that far? Plus, with tariffs being anywhere between 3 to 7 bajillion% to China, depending on what day it is. Either way, we're going to eat it.
Chinese citizens like you and I pay it, so we should be all right.
Yes.
Let's move right along to reason number 2. The number one is essentially U.S. is kind of, it's a seat of power. And if you're going to establish to the rest of the world that you're a little small dictator, this is where you have to start. You got to show the rest of the other dictators, so you can get them at a dictator country club, that you're doing right at home, and you're shutting down freedom of speech and throwing the dark ones in jail.
Sounds pretty authoritarian to me.
Yeah. Now, the third one that I've heard is that he's militarizing D.C. because he's the third little pig breaking up his house in case there's an eviction letter being served in 2028. At the presser, he came out and he says, 700,000 National Guard troops will be deployed. Do you know how many people live in D.C.?
I am guessing. Going by 700,000 troops you need, I'm guessing about 100,000 people.
You would have your own little personal guardsman, because there's about 712,000. So about 12,000 people wouldn't have their own au pair guardsman. But using these stats, almost everyone in the DC area would have their own private army guy following them around. And in case you're wondering some more, the Pentagon said 800 soldiers were activated, so just a hair short of his 700K. But, they also activated 100 to 200 of them to support the police, because with those record low crime rates and such.
Did you see they're also he also singled out Baltimore coming up as maybe the next ride?
He can
And
go get F. Baltimore's
homicides
awesome.
down 60% this year.
Yeah.
So clearly they need it too, buddy.
Those guardsmen is going to be at the block.
Have fun at Circus.
Yeah. They show up and like, wait. You guys just let them just do violent things on this one block? Like, yeah, and around 2 o'clock when the strip clubs close, we get on the horses and ride them out. Like, okie doke. Like, we're going to go bond with the people real quick. Like, I see you got a bunch of ones in your hand. Like, yeah, you know what we're doing.
God bless you, Amsterdam.
It's the same concept, and it works. But, yeah, he needs to keep Baltimore out of his freaking mouth. But another reason he could be doing it, let's see. It's, he could be doing it because it's a power move because DC isn't a state. It's a lot easier to take over a place that isn't a state because it's called the District of Columbia. And it was founded by Congress back in 1790. Both Virginia and Maryland both gave up land for it. The original picture of DC was supposed to be one nice little square, except Virginia went ahead and, I don't know, we still doing Indian Giver? Or is that a no-no?
I don't think you can say that anymore.
All right, well, we're going to take that one back.
We're going to call, 4130. We're going to takesies backsies.
Yeah. It's Trump Giver, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump Promise?
They tacoed our
there it is.
DC's land.
So Virginia went ahead and tacoed the piece of DC. And do you know why Virginia, the official wording is retroceded a part of that land?
They were driving too fast. I don't know.
Just like current Virginia politicians, they are also afraid that DC would outlaw slavery. So they wanted to keep their slaves. And they're like, whoa. We got some cotton down here, and we need to take some of this land back. So
tobacco ain't hanging itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now it could be any number of these things down here. It could be a combination of them, or it could be this last one right here that I actually heard about. And this is what we're going to get to right now when we were talking about selling off parts of the country. And this is something which makes it wild, is I heard about this one about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I was like, no effing way. This is just something on Twitter, TikTok, whatever else. And it turned out to be all right. And the story that I saw about 2 to 3 weeks ago is Trump's going to turn it into a freedom city. And that sounds pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like anything with freedom is awesome. You're thinking bald eagles, like you're doing great things. But just like with most things that the Republicans do, the name's a tad bit misleading. It's not where your gay friends can grow weed, get married, buy liquor, ammo, and beers right by the non-GMO quinoa. So what a freedom city is, it's going to be pockets of deregulated areas with the aim of promoting innovation and technological advancement. The Freedom Cities Coalition describes a project on his website. And this is people pushing for these. Freedom cities are a once-in-a-generation opportunity to solve a housing crisis, bring American manufacturing home, and unleash the full potential of American entrepreneurs through the creation of a special district called Prosperity Zones. In a nutshell, what this is, it's essentially giving a city over to a technocrat. And you say, hey man, guy who runs Google, guy who runs, I don't know, in this case, Palantir. You do you.
Didn't Elon have this working in Texas already?
What do you mean?
Wasn't there, when he made his big move to Texas, wasn't there a couple months ago? I remember reading some report where they were basically, he's like, we're basically going to give Elon Musk this territory, and then he's going to build town, and he's going to do this, and they're all going to work for Elon's all of his projects here.
So at that point, I didn't hear anything about that, but similar to kind of like what Hershey did back in the day, but Hershey had the right idea. He built a town next to his factory, and he provided housing, but he did it, and he did it at a very low rate. I don't know what Elon is doing, but if anything about stock has taught me, he's not doing it for the benefit of the employees. And right now, like, I'm sure Texas gave them every effing tax break they could. Just took the money away from like school lunches for kids. Took away like wheelchair access and like got rid of all those handicap accessible spots. But what a freedom city is, it allows that person to pretty much, they have their own laws in there. So right now we work 9 to 5, 40-hour work week. Over 40 hours, you have OT. They can be like, no, man, I come into work from 4 o'clock in the morning and I stay here till 8 p.m. So you're going to mimic my founder hours. And it's like, I'm not going to pay you in this. I'll give you a couple nickels here and there. And sometimes I sleep under my desk. So that housing that I provide for you, like, well, that's going to be essentially a mattress underneath your desk. It's like similar to a gold rush. Like the gold rush, the mining companies would also build towns and they would have all the food and everything else. And they jacked up the prices. So anything you made in the mines, you then paid like $17 for a banana, and all your stuff went to just staying alive. And that's similar to kind of like what it's going back to.
Yeah, it essentially makes you an indentured servant.
Yes. Like we had the whole like the work week got done, like unions came around, they started working for better benefits. Like we got kids out of the factories, but now we're bringing factories back, and if we want to make them efficient, we got to make kids back in factories again. I don't know about a shiny acronym for it, but I'm sure it'll come out sooner or later.
Buddy, we're getting our French Revolution. It's coming.
Allow children to self-educate Act of 2026 is what it's going to come out sounding like.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'll just be basically say if they're old enough to get molested, they're old enough to work the factories.
If they're good for the island, they're good for the freaking factory. But
Jesus.
I mean, what it really comes out to, it's for you to have to trust a corporation without any government oversight. And I understand government oversight's a horrible thing and everything else. But government oversight will stop things like Enron, Volkswagen tailpipe emissions, tobacco companies, Roundup, Monsanto, BP Oil. Like, all these things, like, that's where you need government oversight, because these companies need to make every freaking dollar that they possibly can. And if you don't tell them, like, hey, man, how about not working those kids to death? Like, F you. Like, oh, I'm all about shareholder profits. And that's what they'll do. But
yeah. And without the government to be like, well, then we're going to fine you $250,000,000. And what are your shareholders going to say then?
Take it out of my
It doesn't matter because the stock market's rigged.
I don't know. We'll move a Ouija board this way. Go F yourself.
Ugh.
So, I mean, before we get canceled, we get put into a freedom city of our own. I'm Alex Midway.
I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.